The country of Sudan is located in the northeastern area of the African continent, its large landmass extending south towards the heart of Africa. Sudan has been in conflict without rest since their independence in 1956. Stemming from ethnic differences, northern Sudan and southern Sudan have been divided and therefore conflict with one another. Before its independence, like many other African nations, Sudan was drawn by Europeans with no attention to the people actually living there. Because of the boundaries drawn, the northern Sudanese, who are mainly Arabic and Muslim, clashed with the southern Sudanese, who are mainly black Christians. There are serious racial prejudices between the north and the south. Northern Sudanese people look down on the southern Sudanese, and racial hatred towards the black people of the country, often referring to them as Abid, which means slaves and is incredibly derogatory. Conflict arose because of tensions between northern Sudan and southern Sudan. Around 75% of the nation's oil reserves are located in the south. The refineries, pipelines, and port are located in the north. Because of this situation, both regions need one another in order for their economies to function. For a long time, southern Sudan was not being given any of the revenue from Sudan's oil. The north was keeping all of the profit. Naturally, northern Sudan was able to develop infrastructure that southern Sudan did not have access to without having that kind of budget. This started a civil war between the two in which the South eventually won and was given about half of the profits from Sudanese oil. A western region, however, known as Darfur, was not seeing any of the money that both northern and southern Sudan had access to. This region was hence underdeveloped and without the infrastructure that the north and south were developing. Rebels in Darfur challenged the government for a fair share of the money that was not being evenly distributed throughout the country. This is what began the genocide of Darfur. Northern Sudan, mainly Khartoum, was intent on destroying this rebellious uprising. They contacted China first because China is one of their biggest oil clients. Because this could affect China's ability to purchase oil from Sudan, they supplied the North with various weapons for their cause. The weapons ranged from machine guns to Antonov bombs, generously distributed to the government-created militias. Northern Sudan's plan was to destroy all the people at Darfur in order to ensure that the rebels were rid of. Of course, this meant that the innocent civilians at Darfur were starved, raped, and murdered. The atrocities committed in Darfur caused a death toll of 400,000 and displaced over 2 million others, many of which are in neighboring countries or other regions of Sudan, confined to refugee camps. Hundreds of thousands of people in Darfur were slaughtered. This genocide was known for its mass rape. The Janjaweed soldiers were ordered to rape and kill the women in the villages of Darfur. Many people were also diseased and starved as a part of the crimes against these people. Every time genocide occurs, governments and people say, never again. Really, though, it is never again until the next one. President Barack Obama visited Darfur and claimed that the United States would step up and do everything in its ability to get the international community involved in saving these innocent people. While the United States has aided the people of Darfur, it was never anywhere near what the president said it would be. It must be considered, though, the Sudanese government actively harassed humanitarian aid within the country and blocked others from entering the nation. However, this is no excuse for the lack of international mobilization to save these people and stop genocide they promised to never let happen again.
I think the level of commitment and the way that I've spoken out on this issue indicates not only knowledge, but also passion in bringing an end to this crisis. We can't say never again and then allow it to happen again. And as President of the United States, I don't intend to abandon people or turn a blind eye to slaughter.
In Darfur, the number of internally displaced people has grown dramatically in the last year. You were in a camp. There's a photo of you with a 7-year-old boy, I think, who was tied to a pole. What was that?
It was as shocking as it is to see that picture. I was shocked when I saw that, and my instinct with children of my own was, how could this kid be tied and somebody let him go and somebody take care of him and somebody. The reality is he was about 3 years old, they said, when the bombs hit, and he was in Darfur, and he disappeared for 48 hours. And before that, he was a very normal little boy. And now and I did see him do it, but he tries to hurt himself. He does, I forget the name for it, but he whacks himself into walls, and he goes running off, and he'll try to hurt himself and others. And 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 after spending about a half an hour with him, I thought maybe they thought that it was from the bombs, but maybe there is something different about his mind. You know, maybe he's an autistic child, but I spent a half an hour with him, and he was a very normal little kid. He was just really, really scared. It's a part of conflict that we often don't have the time to also think about. You know, these people that have been through all of this, every refugee, what they have gone through, the therapy that it would require, the deep internal wound that has happened to these people, and what they're going to need, not just a new house and, you know, some food aid, but really what they all need.
Presently, it is difficult to say whether or not the genocide in Darfur has ended. We can say most likely that it has not. The country has divided into two countries, now called North Sudan and South Sudan. Political conflict between the two still provokes violence and crimes against humanity within this country and the Darfur region. There are still 2 million people displaced currently and others in danger. The world has watched another 400,000 people be obliterated without stepping in to stop it.